No,
he's good.
he's glitched. Hi, Craig.
There's sexy man Craig.
Yeah,
Sexy
Logan's
man?
lagging for me.
Yeah,
I'm lagging?
like a lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay, hold on. Amanda?
Amanda?
Yes, you.
Yes.
Just make sure your sensitivity's a little bit higher, and just to make sure that you don't cut out. Excuse me, as much, and you aren't as quiet as last session. And hopefully we can. This is gonna be fun. I'm so excited to start recording.
Oh.
All right.
There's all the alcohol.
Are we gonna start doing like a weird intro thing?
We don't have to.
Welcome to what is it?
Rollcast.
There you go.
Rollcast.
Cringe.
Welcome
That's
to
definitely
Rollcast,
staying in.
ladies.
That is definitely staying in.
Y'all are cringe.
But that's why we love us.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yes, moi.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
How scandalous!
So, are we
that's-
gonna
that's-
introduce our characters? Or are we gonna talk
Yes,
about animals?
Yes, we are. Maybe like this will be closer to like Smash the TV, more Smash the TV talk.
Oh yeah, Smash the TV. Yeah. That's a new show that's coming. I'm the host.
Oh yeah. So just starting to train roll into this. Gabriel, why don't you, or Lotto, I should say, I shouldn't use our characters out of game. So Lotto, how about you explain to the viewers watching at home the upcoming new podcast, part podcast that we're gonna start putting on Rollcast.
Yeah, so the new show coming to Roadcast is Smash the TV, where you theoretically smash the TV and get rid of all the controversy and politics that happen in the world, and you just listen to us being stupid. We can talk about literally anything that isn't politics or controversial. It can be controversial in a meme way, like is mashed potatoes just Scottish of like fucking Scottish guacamole there.
Sexy.
Yeah. So hopefully, well, actually, not hopefully. That is a show that is coming soon, and maybe we'll actually Twitch stream it and have people
Listen in
actually
live,
talk to
and
us
then
and
we'll
stuff
just
like that. Yeah.
upload the VOD.
All right.
So yeah.
So basically, to recap and explain, from before the first episode of Orphaned Fates, in the land of Kazandria, with one nation kind of being its own little thing off in the Midwest. Those nations being one, two, three. No, I'm sorry, 5 nations. Those nations being the Galician Empire, Kisha, Kayana, Grand Duchy, and Kazashora.
That's where we're at right now.
I'm going to be.
Yes, that is where you guys are at the moment, in Kazashora's capital of Ayla. And world lore-wise, there was this, about 20 years ago, there was this war that lasted like 15 years, that was basically a Nazi-esque regime that was waged on by the humans of the Galician Empire, where they simply wanted to, quote, cleanse and purify the world of all non-human races, or all unfit races. Many, many, many millions of people died in the first couple of years of the war. And then most of the fighting actually started about 5 years in, and then that 10-year war period lasted until eventually all the other three remaining nations eventually got the Galician Empire to surrender.
And that's
Any
where
of
I
the
kind of start.
Yep.
I'll let you finish though.
Oh no, you're good. We'll actually go with that.
Okay, so yeah, that's where Gabriel starts. Two war heroes from Kayana and the Galician Empire become ambassadors for, respectively, Kayana and the Galician Empire. Those are two great heroes that are spoken about in legend throughout the story. It hasn't been mentioned much, but those are Gabriel's parents. The Galician Empire was still a bit salty, so when they found out they had me given to a family friend who is also from Kayana named Soraya, and I was transported to the Grand Duchy where I was raised, and now I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Any of the other humanoids that were not immediately killed on sight were taken to the annexed territory of Kazushora, this giant swampy wasteland of a place that is just whole all in all. Basically that entire like hundreds of miles was annexed and served as a prison nation for all of the people that were not killed during the war. To the west, past Kisha and past excuse me, past Kisha and past Grand Duchy, and just slightly north of Kayana is a very, very tall and wide mountain range, with peaks soaring high into the clouds. And some people even say that uh, giants have and still do live in these peaks. The dwarven spires are where all of, where the dwarves actually reside, or at least about 95% of the dwarves do. There are a few hill dwarves that do not live in the spires with their respective families and clans, but a very large percentage of dwarves do. Excuse me. During the war, the dwarves decided to stay neutral, and they decided to manufacture weapons and military gear and sell them to all of the other four rivaling nations, and making an extreme buck off of it too. One of these weapons that they sold were sentient beings with the capability of emotions and feelings. The capability of uh, uh, what is it? The capability of sentience
Thought.
and free
Yeah.
choice and free will. Not many of these relics survived, seeing that they were mostly a prototype. But the ones that did get shipped out and were used in the war were extreme juggernauts that just killed thousands of people. And that is where Marley comes in.
Hi.
That's Marley.
Yes. Hi. Marley, so I should tell her backstory, basically?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Well, Marley is one of these, Warforged and she was being sent off on a ship, a delivery ship, with a bunch of weapons, including herself. But the ship got into a wreck, and no one survived except for a deactivated Marley. So she was found by her now adoptive parents. Her father, Dantes, being the captain who found her, they fixed her up and basically raised her as their own, and she became more self-aware in like her own creation and the world around her, and now she's just off trying to find them again.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Uh, During all of this, there was a small, kind of crook in the forest where not many people could get through. It was surrounded by very tall and rocky hills, um, with a river running through it. I don't remember the exact name of the town. I'm sure that the name of the town will be flashing on screen now. Um, but in this war, kind of war-free haven, there was a large pack of, what were they, were-rats?
Just rats.
Just rats? They're like giant
Yeah.
rats, ROUSs, basically. And there we find a very animalistic, well, not animalistic, well, animalistic at first, but eventually growing more in contact with humans and other humanoids, a goblin.
Hee hee, that's me.
That's strange.
That's strange.
Yeah.
So, Strange, why don't you give a basic backstory of how Strange basically came to meet Gabriel?
After Strange was torn from the pack of the rats, he found himself in a town, barely surviving. And then Gabriel.
Yeah, I found Strange in the sewers 2 days before the campaign started.
Yep. There had been some strange, crazy storm that had basically flooded this entire town, and with it, all of the tunnels that all the rats lived in. Unfortunately, Strange became swept away by these roaring rapids, and came to wander upon this town that everyone started in, which the name will flash on screen now. Because Dietrich isn't here, he had to go do some hard
Keep
labor.
himself alive.
Yep, he had to keep himself alive. I will explain the basics of Dietrich's backstory. Dietrich came from not but the noblest of families in Grand Duchy. His family was the richest at the time, and I believe still is. The Aetherwolf family has two sons and a daughter. Gabriel is or I'm sorry, not Gabriel. Dietrich is the youngest son, and so because the youngest son does not inherit none, or if at all, very little actual funds from the family after the head of household dies, Dietrich decided to go a different way. The ways of nobility were not meant for him and his personality as a whole, and he decided to go into more of a mercenary type work. On one of his jobs, he became ambushed, and near this starting town that everyone began in, um, he managed to escape and get into town so he could, patch himself up and such.
And
Uh,
then,
yes,
undead Eldritch Horror is attacked.
yes. Um, Marley, I think Marley's heard this part of the story, but basically there was this strange creature that was created from magic, and it had attacked the town using its undeadly powers. Um, Strange, Dietrich, and Gabriel were the only three to survive out of the entire town and kill this monster, now known as a Rotmorn. And they decided to go and see Soraya about this.
Yeah, because on Gabriel's crossbow there's a special engraving on the stock that reacts to the dead body of a Rotmorn. Or the second dead body of the Rotmorn, because it was dead once. Basically, if the stock touches or the engraving touches the body starts to melt into this goop,
The whoop.
and the engraving slash counter curse gets rid of that goop. So I became curious, and seeing that as the nearest town had Sorai's house on the way, we decided to visit her.
Coming upon Soraya's house, they noticed that, or not Soraya's house, but Soraya's hermit cave. They noticed
Yeah,
that
she's a hermit.
the elven druid was not there, and they saw that there was a letter that had not been sent to Gabriel, and one of Gabriel's most recent letters to Soraya had not been opened. Um, Not knowing where Soraya was, they all camp out in the cave that night, and Strange manages to spot a light in the forest. They go down to investigate and find that it is a load of cultists that had basically made camp there, and they had discovered, and the party discovers that the cultists are actually creating or in the process of creating another Rotmorn, and that they have kidnapped Soraya and basically tortured her for information. Um, coming, continuing with the fight.
Dietrich gets bitten by one of them.
Yes. After after they killed all of the cultists, all of them came back as undead zombies, and Dietrich, trying to protect Strange, had gotten bitten by one of them.
And now he has a curse on him.
Not really a curse, but more of an infection.
Yeah.
They free
Yeah.
Soraya, get her back up to her cave.
Dietrich stares at her naked body against
Yeah.
my
Way too
discretion.
long.
And
They,
yeah, we bring her back.
yep.
She
After
explains what the engraving is to me, and
Yep.
she then engraves my dagger.
Yes. Excuse me. Um, After that, they all decide to head into. Oh, and and Gabriel also learns about his parents, and he
Yes.
is currently on his quest to find them.
It's gonna take a while.
Yep. So the party decides to head to a nearby port town and take the fastest, or at least the uh, soonest leaving ship all the way up to Kazushora.
That's the Calbadash.
Yes, the Kalbadash, manned by a cacophony of strange humans, not strange humans, but strange humanoids,
There's a
with
air
Soothsayer
genasi
on
that
board.
sucks. Hate him. Hate that air genasi.
2 months go by as they make their way up to Kazushora, and they take dock in Guzan.
Oh wait, one thing we forgot to mention is that in that town, the port town, Dietrich learns that he needs to find a certain religious place to actually fix himself,
Yep.
or else he'll die.
Otherwise, he's gonna die.
Oh, and they also gave him the option of amputation.
And he went,
Ooh,
no.
my favorite option.
Anyway, so so once they land in Guzan, they take an arrest in the nearby inn. I think it was the Crooked Flagon or the Twisted Flagon or something flagon.
Crooked.
And upon trying to leave, they are stopped by a group of gang members. And those gang members lead the party to Rayla, in which you got, as in the last video, I explained that Rayla needed to find Karen, and that's where the first video picks up.
And you know what happened, hopefully.
Yep, and hopefully everyone watched that first video, and hopefully this is a little more explanatory. Yeah, and that's where everything is at right now.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you made it all
Yep.
this way.
So yeah, that's where things stand. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Does anyone else have any announcements coming up or any ideas that they want to start posting to the channel?
Oh wait, there's going to be a
Gabriel's new
second
campaign?
campaign. Yeah,
Yes, there's going to be a second campaign.
Watch out for that. It's going to be called Precursors Precinct, and it's going to be very different from this campaign, as in every action has a consequence, good or bad.
Yeah, that's literally what. Yep. Okay. All right. Marley Strange, anything to add before we end off?
No, not really.
Nope.
I'm
I'm not doing
adorable.
Yes, you are, and we know this.
Yes,
And so
we
is
have
Marley.
established this.
No,
Yes, take the compliment.
no, not happening.
Tell her to take the
No, you're
compliment.
adorable, Marley.
Cut.
Take the compliment, Marley.
I
Take
know.
it. Take it.
I'm just gonna keep
Take
going.
the compliment.